Hello and all, welcome to a Galaxy Man Show interview show. So for my very next guest is this incredible singer and songwriter known by the name of Emily Franke. So I'm about to add Emily into the live now and have a chat with Emily about her incredible music. So yeah, let's add Emily in and have a chat with Emily. Hi Emily, how's it going?
Hi, it's good. How are you?
Yeah, really good, thanks. I just want to say first up, thank you so much for taking the time to join my show. It's such a pleasure having you on, Emily. To people that don't know who you are, if you can give like a bit of backstory about who you are and what you do, and then we'll dive right into the questions.
Sure, yeah. Thank you for having me on.
Very well.
A singer-songwriter from the Chicagoland area. And yeah, I just recently graduated from college and I'm just trying to figure it out.
So we'll dive right into the questions now, Emily. So for my very first question, so you have actually created an incredible song coming out June 25th, called Supernova. Such an incredible name, by the way.
Thank you.
Um, what what got you wanting to create Supernova in like the first place, and like what's the whole meaning behind Supernova?
So I took a songwriting class with this college music collective called Quadio, and one of the prompts was something unexpected but natural, and I kind of just like supernova became a thing because I mean that's the way a star dies, and it happens to every star, but it's like an unexpected thing. You don't really know when it's gonna go down. So I kind of took that metaphor and put it to like the ending of a relationship, like when you kind of knew it was going to end and you knew it was going to be this big explosion, but you didn't quite know when or how, and then they kind of just move on without you. So it was this like unexpected but natural happening. And it was a little bit of a different process than usual because I usually write everything acoustic, like with a guitar. I consider myself a folk artist mainly. And this one, I was listening to a lot of Lord and got some inspiration from her. And it was more of a just like dance pop song. So it was really different, but it was a lot of fun to make.
So on to our very next question. So you have also created an original song called Reputation.
You're good.
So what was it like creating Reputation, and what's the whole meaning behind Reputation?
I'll be honest, that one was a long time ago. That was like in high school. So it was just like high school drama, and I was just kind of getting comfortable like sharing my music, and I wasn't producing at all then. So I was just like me starting to write more of like flushed out tunes, I guess.
So on to our very next question. So you have also created an original song called Coastline. What was it like getting to create Coastline, and what's the whole meaning behind Coastline?
That's a similar song where I created it like way back in high school. I had just started producing then, so I wrote that song about like a long distance relationship, and I remember recording it and like not knowing what I was doing and trying to get it into a garage band and like figure it all out, and it like was just the beginning of trying to produce stuff.
So on to our very next question. So you have also created a song called Maggie. What was it like getting to create Maggie, and what's the whole meaning behind Maggie?
So Magi actually it's called Magi, but Maggie essentially because it's about Maggie Rogers. Um, and it was a song that I wrote 2 summers ago about Maggie Rogers and how her music like influenced my writing, and how her album Heard It in a Past Life really like it just like totally opened my eyes to a different side of music and music production, and I love her whole project, and it was just kind of a song about her project and what it did for me.
So on to our very next question. So you have also created a song called Mother Nature. Incredible song.
Thank
What was it, you're very welcome. So what was it like getting to create Mother Nature, and what's the whole meaning behind the song Mother Nature?
I love that song. I'm very proud of that song, and it's pretty new, as you know. And that song, I definitely felt more comfortable, like production wise, and so I tried to do some new things on it, things that were like a little out of my comfort zone. I had my friend Sammy Haig play trumpet on it, and he wrote some amazing trumpet parts, and I was just proud of how it came out, like the final product, I guess. But the song was about a tree that fell on my house last summer. I was living in a house with some of my college roommates, and a tree fell on it and just like crushed it. And we had to move twice, and it was this whole thing. But that kind of aligned as like a perfect metaphor. And because at the same time I was losing this friendship that I'd had for a while, which was like really heartbreaking for me at the time and really hard. And it just lined up perfectly. The metaphor I used in the song was the skeleton of the house and the skeleton of that friendship, both kind of like crumbling under the pressure essentially. And it was kind of like an angry let out song. Like everything was just mad and got let out in that song, but I really like how it turned out.
So on to our very next question. So what made you decide as a person that you wanted to like pursue singing in the first place?
Taylor Swift, for sure. I was a huge Swiftie in like elementary school, and then by junior high I was like, I want to learn how to play guitar. I want to play guitar like Taylor Swift. And then it turned into I want to write music like Taylor Swift and like write songs like her. And I taught myself how to play guitar in 7th grade, and then it just kind of like went on from there.
So on to our very next question. So what does performing music mean to you, like especially as an artist?
I think it's all about being a storyteller. I just graduated from Illinois State, and I was an acting major. So that was like a lot of what I did there too, was like storytelling, and theater was all about storytelling. And I think I really like that about songwriting too, is that you can create stories if you want, or like share personal stories, and they can be anecdotes to other people who hear them and like find them comforting or helpful, or they just find solace in that like song. It feels selfish sometimes, I think, but like in a good way.
Awesome. So on to our very next question. So if you could work with any top 3 music artists in the music industry, who would they be and where?
Taylor Swift, Maggie Rogers, and Phoebe Bridgers, for sure. I think Maggie Rogers, for sure, production-wise, just because seeing someone who like is a songwriter and a female producer too is such a great role model, and just someone I want to be like. And she's also really cool. I think she'd be so fun to work with. And then Taylor Swift and Phoebe Bridgers' lyricism is like next level. They can paint with their words, and I want to learn how.
Awesome. So on to our very next question. So what have you learned about yourself as a person, like especially during COVID?
Unfortunately, I think the biggest thing that I learned was that I should have done something else in college. COVID really just like hit the theater industry especially, and the music industry, like, you know, like a ton of bricks. And I wish that I had done something else with my college time, I guess. But yeah, you know, here we are.
Yeah, awesome. So on to our very next question. So what are like the positive and negative sides into creating music, and how do you get through those like negative moments, like as an artist?
I think the positive side, like going back to the storytelling, is being able to share a story, like a personal story or something that's happening to you, and have people relate to it. I think that's such a cool thing, and finding people who like personally relate to what's going on in your life. When I released The Summer That Stood Still Reality, which was my last EP that I put out, I had quite a few people, like more than I was expecting, reach out to me and be like, I'm also experiencing losing a friendship. Like this really hit home for me, and I totally relate. And that was really surprising. It made me feel like comforted. It was really cool just to see that it impacted people in that way when I was releasing it and expecting it to be this kind of selfish project. But it wasn't, and that was really cool. But I think some of the negatives would be, well, I don't know. I guess the negatives are negatives if you let them affect you. And some people take songs too seriously. I think the negatives can be people's reactions to them, but then again, you can kind of turn around and make it a positive. And then I guess another negative would just be like self-judgment. And I think that's in everything that everyone does. But like listening back to music and I'm like, wow, this sucks. And just like, it's like hearing your own voice on tape kind of thing. You just don't really ever get used to it. But yeah.
So on to my very last question. So what's like next for you, like music wise, that you would like to announce?
I'm playing quite a few like little gigs this summer, so that's really fun. I'll be at the like farmers markets around me here, and I'm doing some gigs like downtown Chicago, which is really exciting. And then I have the song Supernova coming out on June 25th. And actually, I have a song called Pretty Pissed coming out July 16th as well, which is brand new. So I'm really excited for that one too.
Well, would you like to perform one of your songs on the show, by the way?
I would love to.
Awesome.
I'm going to play Mother Nature. Yeah. We were too naive to see it. Mother Nature called us. I would emblematize future dying friendships with a tree through the house. Symbolism breaking branches. Roof falls above your head. Structure built for 3 years crumbles down quickly instead. But the skeletons were never sound. Wish we knew to get out. Wish we knew to get out. Get out. Pictures of an ex quietly taken down. Feeling guilty, no concrete reason why. Had their chance to atone. Now misery's got me in a chokehold. To take no prisoners rule. Once my money turned dissonant. So fast it made me cruel. I've never felt this night. But the skeletons were never sound. Wish we knew to get out. Wish we knew to get out. Get out. Won't make the fake smiles like you do. I've no need to mollify. Not afraid of your whiplash responses, acting like we told you to go out and hide. Snuff out the flames from the fire. Gaslighting to 421. Is he someone you die for? Is he someone you lie for? Nothing to fake, now you ruined it all yourself. But the skeletons will never sound. Wish we knew to get out. Wish we knew to get out. Get out. We were too naive to see it. Mother Nature called us. I would emblematize future dying friendships with a tree.
Yes. Let's say thank you so much, Emily, for making the time to appear on my show. It's been such a pleasure having you on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Do you have like any last final thoughts or anything that you'd like to say to people on the show?
Pre-save Supernova. It's at the link in my bio, and it comes out June 25th.
Awesome.